Lisa. So those of us that are in the Empress world, I love it. Amy's here, Elaine's here. So glad you could join us, Nancy and Karen. So happy you're here. Jennifer, Katie, who else is here? Jen Todd in the house, Pascal. How wonderful to see you, Deborah and Connie. Wonderful to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, I know, Sarah. We love this. Some of you, we've been doing this together for over a decade. Some of us have, I've been leading this journey for 22 years. It's the longest thing that we've ever done in this business. Versions, it's always evolved, new things, iterations, but in some form or another, we have done Epic Year for 22 years. So if you're an OG, some of you have been here for that long. So it's wonderful if you're coming for the first time. I'm so happy to have you. And we won't have music playing the entire time. We're just going to take some deep breaths together, just get ourselves into a space of contemplation, breathing in, breathing out. Maybe giving your shoulders a roll, giving your neck a roll from side to side. If there's any other stretching that feels good to you, if you want to reach up or give yourself a spinal twist, give yourself a little nervous system regulation. You can tap your opposite arms, do a little vagus nerve with a hand behind your ear and then cradling your face, rocking a little bit. Ah, yeah, beautiful. We've got everyone from, if you're somewhere warm, tell us where you're here from, because I'm not. I'm somewhere cold right now. Although it got up, everybody, 23 degrees yesterday. It was tropical here in Chicago yesterday, 23 degrees. So some of you are in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Hawaii, Australia. We're in summer. At South Africa, we're in summer. So if you're somewhere warm, how lovely. If you're somewhere cozy, like I am, we're going to get cozy together. 40 below in Alaska, Deb. I think you win the prize. We got to 22 below this week with wind chill, but I mean, 40 below. Ah, so good. Karen's sane. Her family lives in Chicago, but she is in Venice Beach, California. Beautiful, beautiful. So just again, a couple of deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Oh, a beautiful, massive windstorm in Oregon. I hope that everything stayed on the houses, nothing blew away. It's elemental. It's elemental right now, right? It's such a powerful time. So thrilled that you're all here. Okay, so we're gonna do one more breath in, more breath out. Yes, gorgeous. So, welcome everyone. If I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, my name is Sarah Cannell. I'm going to be your facilitator and guide today for Epic Year Part 1. And then we're going to be together again for Epic Year Part 2 on January 7th. And I'll explain what we're doing today and then what we're going to do in between now and January 7th to create an epic year in your life, right? And I don't say that word in a way to use hyperbole. I don't use this in a flippant sense. I really mean we get to create an epic 2026. So I'd love to see in the chat, E for epic, if you're committed to that. You're committed to having next year be epic. How about it being the best year of your life so far? That's from Louise Hay, and I love it because every year you could say, this is now going to be the best year of my life so far, right? Then we don't get into some limitation. Oh no, it's only one best year. No, we live in an abundant universe. You live in an abundant universe. And I'm so, so grateful that you're taking this experience and journey today and on the 7th and in between, because those of you who get woo with me. Who's swoo? I'd like to hear the word swoo, SWOO in the chat if you love science and you love woo. That's what we're a swoo family here. And since we're swooing, what that means right now is that on December 12th last week, a lot of us were together for the December 12th Gamma Group kickoff, and 1212 opened a portal where we have incredible access to high frequency, inspiration, clarity, downloads. That's what I call them based on my new book, right? The download. And we have access to so much clarity and so much inspiration, and also a lot of churn. If you felt that this time has felt emotionally raw, volatile, if you feel like you've been up and down, that's very normal. It just means you're tuned in to what's going on in the energy, because we are going through now till the winter solstice on Sunday, on the 21st. And then we're going to have some really cool energy over the, traditional winter holiday times. So really excited for what we're going to create together and really start today and continue on for the next few weeks. So yeah, we're tuned in. So who's felt some volatility? Put V in the chat if you felt your emotions up and down, you've had intense dreams, maybe you've had self-doubt feel really acute, maybe you felt overwhelmed. I've felt a ton of it. I've just been surfing, called surfing. I feel like I'm astral traveling every night. I mean, there's all kinds of cool stuff happening, right? Some of it is very unfun, and like we're getting rewired. I felt like the soup, when the caterpillar becomes the soup before it starts developing its ecosystem to become a butterfly. No one talks about the soup. Well, I felt the soup this week. So if you have had that, you're not alone. And if you've been feeling awesome, this will just take you into more awesome. Okay, so we're going to create epic years. We're going to go on a journey today that's so important for me. I realized about 15 years ago that I would get to the end of a calendar year and then I'd make a vision board and set goals and all the things, which is wonderful. But I did not accurately and effectively actually integrate the year that was just closing. I didn't analyze it. I didn't look at it. I didn't find out what was great about it. I didn't, you know, sort of find a way to really own all that it's been. And I didn't, most importantly, identify what was not coming with me into the new year. So I would start the new year with a lot of excitement and passion and vision and all the things, gusto, as Ray Bradbury would say, but I didn't actually set myself up for success. And I mean success in terms of personal fulfillment, growth, all the things external, internal, because I didn't do the work we're going to do today first. And so I started doing this on my own. And then I started doing it one-on-one with clients that I was working with. And now we do it together in community, which is so much more amazing and so much more fun. So I honor you because right now you have 8 billion other things that you could be doing with your time, and you're here. And we have a beautiful, abundant group of us here, and lots of you doing, I know on the replay, we're doing this together. So I commend you for taking the time in the swirl of holiday stuff to actually do this. And we're going to have fun, and we're going to dance it out at the end, and we're going to have an amazing time together today. Ready? It may A for amazing, can make a little A shape, or oh my God, I did a terrible A. It'd be like this. I did not do a good A with my hands. I'm better at hard hands. Okay, beautiful. So I do like to teach with visuals. Those of you that have trained with me before know that you're all going to get the replay. You're going to get the slides. You're going to get all the stuff, and you're going to get some optional an invitation to some homework or some action steps to take in between now and when we meet again, so that we can really make sure that we have a full transformation as we go through this next few weeks. Okay, so you're going to get everything. In case anyone wondering if you have to leave early, we're going to give you all the stuff. Okay, so here we go. I am going to get our visuals up where we need them. And just for fun, tune in if you want to close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and just imagine yourself. It's Hanukkah. We're coming up on Christmas. There's Kwanzaa. Um, there's so many traditions at this time of year where we connect to the light. So let's go ahead and bring in the light. The world needs the light right now more than ever. So let's connect to the light of the universe, connect to the light of the earth itself, and let's just feel those lights merging in your center. Just let yourself get lit up with your power and your calling and your spark, your genius, and just feel that light of you, your presence, your magnificence, your greatness just starting to emanate out bigger than your body, bigger than your physical space, bigger than your country, your continent, Just let's fill the globe. Let's send our light here out to everyone who needs it today, knowing as we share the light, more comes back to us. And then you can feel that light coming back through you, igniting all your cells, your conscious, subconscious, outer conscious mind, your vision. It's going to activate your super conscious state. All my gamma groupers here. Those of you doing gamma group, we know we're activating super consciousness. And breathing and just setting an intention that you will receive an aha, a shift, a download from today. It's going to change the trajectory of where you go from here. I affirm that you each receive breakthroughs and ahas, big and small, nuggets that move you forward. So you can just shake that out. Beautiful. I love it. We've got 11:11 going on in Mountain Time, 1:11 going on the East Coast. We've got our power numbers. Okay, gorgeous. So here we go. We are going to go over here where you guys can see these, and I'll pulse a little bit at times to play some music while we actually do. This is definitely an experiential workshop. It is not a lecture. So make sure that you are ready with something to write with and write on. I like to do this work handwriting instead of typing. You could do whatever suits you, but just do have something. We will be interactive today and do have something to either write or type on. But I do find the handwriting is really useful for this process. So if you have a pen and paper, that that is your option there. Okay. So Epic Year Workshop, could I just get a thumbs up from someone who's on camera to say that you can see that this is where we are? Thank you so much, Angela. And what we're going to do today, we are going to go through a guided process to reflect, sort of analyze our year. Analyze sounds very cold, so we're going to reflect on the year. We're going to integrate, we're going to mine the gifts and the growth of this year and integrate them. We are going to get clear on what we are releasing and what is not allowed to come with us. Not coming to the new year, not even coming to tomorrow. And then we're going to do an activation to open us to the highest and greatest vision for you in 2026. And we will discuss the action steps that are going to help us make this really powerful. Okay, so that's our agenda for today. We already talked about. We are committed to having an epic year because if people see you have an epic year, then they're going to feel like they have permission to have an epic year. It is so readily available to doom scroll and feel despair. If anyone watched Stephen Colbert's address at the Kennedy Center recently, he said that the sign that he keeps with him in front of him at all times when he's recording shows or when he's just walking about his life is the conscious choice to, I'm going to paraphrase, I'll send out if I can find it, his exact words are beautiful, but essentially this idea that he is going to abstain from hopelessness, right? And he is going to focus on hope even when there are really challenging things happening in our world. So we're gonna be part of the positive change the world needs by keeping our vibration high and creating contribution for the world in an epic year that lifts everybody up. Okay, we're going to do that by going through an exercise of fives, right? So this is the process I use, as I said, every year, and it's really, really helped me to download what's coming next and set aligned visions for the new year. So we're going to be doing a series of fives, and I'm going to guide you through them, your top fives in different categories. All right. So the first one is, what are your top five wins from this year? Okay. Before you start writing, when I say wins or success or achievements or any of those words, we are not looking at that through a traditional or a patriarchal or a status-based lens. We're talking about what's a win for you. If this year you set boundaries in relationships so they honored you more, that is a huge freaking win, right? If you spoke up for yourself more, if you took more time off and actually let yourself have white space instead of filling every minute doing things, huge wins, right? So this is how you define a win, not what the world would define as a win. So just take some time. You can do more than five, of course, if you want to, but I want you to think about, just take a minute and write down your top wins from this year so far. And team, as I go through these prompts, could you write them in the chat? Because I want to be able to have some music play as we do these. So if after I say the prompt, if you could write them in the chat for everyone, and that way we can have some beautiful music for ourselves. Yes, this first prompt is your top 5 wins of 2025. However you define. And as you write, feel the feelings. What does it feel like to reflect on these most exciting moments? If you've written a huge list of things that you consider wins, you can start to just circle what are the top 5. Then if there's one that you want to share in the chat, feel free, or you could keep this private. It's your process. Yeah, if it's not coming through easily, just take some breaths and just pick one and celebrate it. Something wonderful. Beautiful. And now we're going to go to your top 5 achievements. Okay, it might be the exact same list that you just made, but we're going to come at this from different angles. So whatever, again, you consider an achievement, you might get the same answers and just write them down again, or you might get something a little bit different. Okay, and your job is just here to brainstorm and allow and pour gratitude on yourself and life and your year. These are beautiful, the ones that are being shared in the chat. Gorgeous. So many beautiful inner work ones in this chat. I honor you all. Falling in love with family, being intentional, setting boundaries, focusing on health. Beautiful. Achieving the impossible, relaxing. Great job. Keep them going. 5 achievements. And in this one, everybody, think about including, yeah, they might be the same, but sometimes we count wins differently than achievements. And so think about it this way. It's a great question. When like achieving something is often a goal that we set. So maybe you said, I'm going to consistently strength train. That's a huge achievement for me. Or I'm going to finish my book manuscript. Or I'm going, I did my first in-person talk. And Christy, you shared that, right? So sometimes achievements are like goals that we set and things that we accomplished, right? And it could be a small thing, a big thing, whatever. It's again, what's an achievement to you? But wins could be, oh my gosh, I just felt like the energy in my marriage was so positive. Like it just felt like such a win. Or I felt like things just flowed more easily for me this year. I didn't have to, focus so much on trying so hard. Things just sort of flowed. Or a win might be that this huge challenging situation just really resolved itself, right? It wasn't as much something I did, but just a win in life that felt really good. And then an achievement, sometimes a thing that we took action around and co-created to make happen. Now, you can define these things however you want. I'm asking these prompts very intentionally so that we wring out every yummy, delicious, awesome thing that you both received and did this year so you can give yourself some freaking credit because we typically, as human beings, don't do it, right? We don't acknowledge the impressive and powerful inner and outer work that we do. And so we're coming at this from lots of different ways, and it's perfectly fine to write the same 5 things. Totally fine. Okay. But I want to ask it in different ways because sometimes I get a few different answers depending on the way that I ask it. All right. So, really good questions. Okay. Great. So, yeah. Right, right, Shannon. Some of us don't ever use that language, and achieving and winning can sound very masculine, and it can actually feel like we can have resistance to even thinking in that way. So just know you're going to hear one prompt. The goal is to get one of these prompts to get you to a feeling of acknowledging yourself and how awesome you are. Okay, so let's go on to the next one and keep playing together. You're all doing amazing. All right, so the next one is the top 5 things you are grateful for. You're most grateful this year for which 5 things, right? So again, this can be things you already just wrote on the list from the last 2 prompts, or it could be different things. Like, I'm just so grateful that I got to travel more this year, right? I'm just so grateful that that I'm inside and warm, whatever it is, right? So what are your top 5 gratitudes for the year so far in this moment? All right. Just whatever you feel in this moment is going to be perfect. Okay. And I'll put the music back on. Yeah, Lauren, I'm grateful to welcome back from your travel. And as you do this one, I want you to see if you can feel the emotion of gratitude. See where it is in your body. Look over all the things you've written so far and start to cultivate it. Turn up a feeling of gratitude around. Really go there. Gratitude is a causative energy. It will bring good things. It will bring you downloads. Feel the gratitude for yourself and for life of what you've created. And take a deep breath. You're doing great. And now go through.
On the 175.
You can go through your phone and calendar and identify top 5 peak experiences. Okay. So again, these may be similar, but when we talk about a peak experience, it was a time typically when we feel most alive. So maybe there was an event you attended, a trip that you went on, a particular creative moment that you had. You can go back through because we forget even like, what did I even do this year, right? Most of us haven't had time to reflect yet. So you can go through your phone and you can go, yeah, or it could be your whole book tour. Kimberly's book launched this fall, so it's like that whole tour is a peak experience, right? So it could be a thing like I just remembered, as I started to do this work, like my son got into the high school, his first choice high school this year. Like we found out about it in the beginning of February. That was such a moment of just, it was so exciting to see that yes come in, that email come in. So, what were the peak experiences for you? Yeah, Chandani, your Kickstarter, right? So, let's go ahead and just take some time to scroll through your phone and your calendar so you can remember what the heck you even did in the first, 3 quarters of the year, let alone last month. And you can, of course, have more than 5, but you could write a whole bunch down and think, what are the most potent peak experiences that you had this year? All right, let's take a little time and do that. Yes, Suzanne, our book launch in April. I can't believe that was this year for Millionaire Codes. Yeah, if it's been a really tough year, just give yourself so much love and just let this music move through you and just hold your hands to your heart and light, because that means you are set up for a big comeback. You're going to get insights today that are going to help this next year be so much better. And now you're going to ask yourself, what is an insight that you've had based on your peak experiences, your wins, your achievements, your gratitudes? What insight, what do you notice, if anything, that interests you, makes you curious based on what you've uncovered so far of your wins, your achievements, your gratitudes, and your peak experiences? Just see what comes up. Maybe it's like, nope, there's nothing new here. That's cool. Just breathe. But notice if there is an insight that you have based on what you've written so far about what's important to you, about what you value, about what matters. Let's take a few minutes and listen into that. When you reflect on your life, what actually matters? I see themes. Are we starting to see some themes about what actually matters? Yeah. Take a deep breath in and out. So I want to share I know some of you just jumped on. You're all really self-aware people. You wouldn't be in this community if you weren't. You're evolved, self-aware, awesome humans. And even though I am someone who's worked on myself consciously for, 27 years or something since I started really doing inner work, I also find this process illuminating to continue to look in and see what's actually the most important to me. Because the reason this is so crucial that we do this now before we start planning our next year is that we're going to make decisions, right? We make 35,000 conscious decisions a day. We're going to make decisions about what we spend our money on, what we spend our time doing, what we invest our energy in, who we choose to surround ourselves with, right? And so it's so important to look back and say, oh, what was most important? Because then we know what to prioritize. So when I started doing this a few years ago, I realized that 2 years running, aside, there would be a couple of family events and experiences that were like my peak, most treasured, grateful experiences of the year. And the others were when I was in person with awesome, like-minded, amazing people, artists, visionaries, entrepreneurs, when I was actually in person. And so I realized that it was going to be really in my best interest to prioritize those things in the coming year. And now I make conferences, retreats, events. I host them myself in person and I go on them and attend them with, other facilitators because I know that when I look back at my year consistently, those are some of the best times of my life. And once again, as I look at being in New York with some of you at Kimberly's launch and being in New York City in the for women starting movements with many of you and many of your books going up on the Times Square billboards and doing these things and when being in a couple of different entrepreneur groups that I'm in and going and speaking places, those are peak experiences in my kind of vocational world, right? And so I prioritize those now. And I make sure that I generate funds and time and energy for those things because I know looking back how important they are to me. Sometimes I might look back and think, God, the thing that was the best is when I had open freaking space to just enjoy my family. And so then I'm going to make sure that I don't fill every minute because I want to have, this kind of space, right? It can seem obvious, but sometimes until we have an opportunity like today that you gave yourselves, we don't have a time to reflect in this way, right? So did put S if anything has surprised you so far. It may or may not. But if anything has been interesting or surprising to you, illuminating to you, then you can put that in the chat so that you say, yeah, this is good because now when I'm going to create my new epic year, I know what's going to actually make it epic. Sometimes it's not the obvious things like achieving another goal. Maybe it's to live differently or be differently or have less going on. Or maybe it's like, I feel stagnant and like I've made my life really anorexic, right? I didn't know there was life anorexia, but there actually is, right? And I've done it before out of fear of risk, out of fear of spending money, out of fear of hurt, out of fear of rejection. I've made my life really, really, really small. And it was worth it then to look back and say, I'm not going to do that this year. I'm going to live. I'm going to leave it on the field. I'm going to freaking play full out. If it hurts, it hurts, right? So some of us relate to that. Yeah, it's protection. We've gotten beat up on the battlefield, right? I don't use a lot of like war metaphors, but it can feel like that. And yet I know what brings me alive is connection. Kimberly, you said that love and connection was at the heart of it. Yeah, I did a whole workshop one year on life anorexia because it was so arresting to me to realize that out of fear of taking risks and fear of hurt, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of economic lack, I had let my life just become so contracted, right? So you can see what's up for you in any of that, right? You're doing amazing. Let's keep the deep breaths into the belly. Let's do one together, right? And we're going to continue on looking at our year, mining our year, inventorying our year. Okay. So we've looked at wins, achievements, gratitude, peak experiences, and you can go back. You'll all have the replay and you'll have these slides and prompts so you can go deeper and with more time if you'd like to. Now I want us to look at what were the greatest challenges of the year. Okay, those of you that said it was a hard year, you're going to love this one. All right. So, what kicked your butt? All right. Or just took you on a ride, right? What were the biggest challenges of the year? Let's go ahead and get them out so we can see them and bring them into the light. And anybody, if you could just check that you're muted, we have a little feedback on the line, and we are recording for a lot of people who couldn't come in real time today. So, if we could just double check you're muted for now, that would be great. Thank you. Remember, these can be inner or outer challenges, top 5 challenges of the year. It could be external challenges. They can also be maybe mindset, maybe emotional patterns, trigger, okay? Whatever you found challenging. Much love. Yeah, happy to repeat that. I'll turn the music off so it's easier to hear. This is inner and outer challenges, right? So it might be there were actual life situations or financial things or time things that were challenging. But it could also be, did you wrestle with self-belief? Did you wrestle with, what we call gremlins, like inner critic, negative thinking? Did you feel a sense of, emotional challenge, right? There can be many different ways that we can feel challenges, right? So just acknowledging inner and outer challenges, because this is a whole body. We take the hermetic approach here of, as within, so without. So let's look at our inner and outer challenges with so much love, and then spend a few minutes just giving love to ourselves for walking through. This is the hero or Shiro's journey, right? The Shiro is called to the quest, and then there are the challenges that the hero or Shiro faces, right? So this is you as the hero of your own life. And when we go for big things, there are big challenges sometimes, right? You're up for it because you will persevere and your vision will prevail. But we want to acknowledge them, both for giving ourselves some credit for walking through big stuff and also to just see them clearly for what they are, because maybe part of our 2026 epic year is going to be to get support and address and dissolve some of those challenges, right? So, yeah, these are really important. Yeah, beautiful. Some great awareness is coming. Yeah, big stuff. Those of you taking care of people, like, with dementia, whether, dealing with really hard health situations, financial situations, there's challenging things. Maybe you just feel challenged by the state of the freaking world and it weighs on you, and the mental load of world events, right? There's all kinds of things. So take another minute. I know this isn't the fun part, but it's important and it matters, okay? And you're up for it. Let's go. These are really good awarenesses. Keep them coming. Just breathe love into yourself. Breathe love into your life. Deep breath in, everybody. Again, you can spend more time with these prompts later if you want to. And we're going to do a lion's breath on this one, okay? So we're going to breathe. And if you haven't done lion's breath in yoga, you're going to breathe in 1, 2, 3, and then I'll count us in. And then you're going to stick your tongue out and roll your eyes up and go, ah. All right. So we're going to breathe out the energy. We're going to move some energy and we're going to breathe out the pain, the frustration, anything that has to do with these challenges. Ready? 1, 2, 3, breathe in. And then, I know it looks really goofy and silly, but it's so good for you. Maybe you have a year you need to do a few lion's breaths, okay? And shake it, okay? Let's shake. Animals know what to do. When an animal experiences trauma, shock, it shakes, okay? The animal shakes until it's moved out of its nervous system. Animals know how to do this. We hold it all in and we put it up in our heads. Yeah, great, great. I see some great shaking. Good stuff. Okay, another deep breath. Ah. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, now this is going to be interesting. We are going to do your top 5 learnings. What were your top? I don't call them lessons like we're being taught lessons by life. I don't believe in that crap. Okay. I believe in we learn from everything. We learn from everything, right? We're either winning or learning, and learning is winning. So we're always winning. And we're going to think about the top 5 learnings of this year. This could be a skill like, wow, I really learned. I got really good at, a certain part of your writing craft, or you really learned emotional mastery in a certain way. You learned meditation. You learned a particular physical exercise or a sport or a hobby. Could be something along those lines. You did some education. It could be learning about, you could be learning about yourself. Your biggest learnings were what really makes you happy or what is not aligned, right? That could be a learning. Maybe you learned something really important about business, right? A few years ago, I was in a situation where I hired someone and over delegated and had a really big cost to it. I got into a business partnership at one point that became really crazy and insane. Some of you know that story, right? And it was really traumatic. And so I learned a lot about, what I will and will not do in business partnership that year. I learned a lot about what I need to do as a leader for, hiring. So it could be really practical things. It could be really psychological or spiritual things. Maybe you learned, like something really cool about how you can connect to higher realms, your super consciousness, those of us doing the Gamma group together, right? So, what did you learn this year? 5 top things. Let's do that now. So many good things here. Wow. So take a deep breath in. And now, what I want to ask everybody to think about is, did you learn more from your peak experiences and wins or your challenges or both? Right? Some years I learned more from some other. I just want everyone to think about that. What did you learn more from for you this year? Both. Learnings were challenges too, challenges both, peak experiences. There's no right answer here, right? Because sometimes we learn more from one than another on a given year. It can change from year to year. In 2023, I learned a lot more from my challenges, right? And then guess what? 2024 was 2023, and then 2024 was the best year I had in so many ways, right? So good. Yes, so many good things. So we can learn from both. And because we're always learning or winning, and learning is winning, so we're always winning, right? I'm going to keep affirming that to everyone, okay? Okay, so now the question is what we're going to do is we're going to ask, yeah, learn what you don't want, right? That's a huge win because then we know what to, then we learn what we want to put energy on in the new year and what we don't want to put energy on. Okay, so we've done what our wins, what are our greatest achievements, our peak experiences, our top gratitude, biggest challenges, and biggest lessons or learnings, right? So really good job. We're moving through this process. Now, what we want to do is think about your biggest insight. We did that halfway through these questions, but just see if there's another insight here. If you just had to say, my biggest insight from reflecting on 2025 so far, what would it be? Yeah. What is your biggest insight from all of 2025 so far doing this reflection? Just what, it's like, oh, some of you are saying, I'm really tenacious, the importance of listening, relaxing into alignment. So what is your biggest insight? If you were a friend analyzing your year and you looked at these five lists that you made and you said, okay, I think what's really important to you in the coming year is going to be, you know, more connection, take more risks, and follow your intuition, for example, right? Yeah, Brandy, that you're the priority and care more for yourself than putting everyone else first. Awesome. I love that. Yes. Yes. Wins outweighing financial destruction, trusting yourself to live intentionally at all lines. Beautiful. It starts with me, Lisa. Believing in who you are, and that's enough. I can make a huge positive impact on people's lives. These are so rich. Yeah, really good. Really good. Right timing, how the importance of timing. That's powerful. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do now to transition the energy, we're going to shift gears from our fives, right? We were doing our lists of fives. If you came in late, we are definitely sending the replay and the recording and the slides and everything. We're going to do something a little bit silly, but it's on purpose. We're using brain science. This is a little bit of a state change. If you know neurolinguistic programming, we can state change by asking a different sort of question on a different topic, or we can do something with music. Okay, so we're going to do a little dance party just for part of this song. All right, if you know this song, you've heard it, you can kind of dance or sing along. All right, so we're going to play this song and we're going to shift our energy. All right, so all right, this song is from you telling 2025, see ya, we're moving into Epic Year 2026, and listen to the words as we get going. Is it loud enough, everybody? Too loud? You want it louder? Okay, here we go. If it gets too, anybody, you can just turn your volume down. Okay? All right. What is this song? It's called You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, all right? This is what you're telling your life. This is what you're telling the universe, right? Here we go. Yeah, here you ready? Baby. And I want to see some movement, okay? You got to move your body, move your energy. Yes. Oh my God, Shannon, if you're dancing at the airport, I'm obsessed. Yes, Shannon's dancing at the airport. Yes, we can all dance, all right? O'Hare needs that dancing, Shannon. You need it in Chicago. Heidi's in a coffee shop. Remember the crazy ones. Steve Jobs, think different, be the crazy one. Way more fun. You'll have a more epic year, right? We're gonna do one more verse, one more chorus. Get your air mic ready. Here we go. Here we go. Jump if you can, if your body allows it, or just do it in your mind. Okay, everyone, awesome job. Give yourself some love. Give each other some high fives, some heart hands. Yes. Okay, do we feel differently? Who feels different than you did 30 seconds ago, 1 minute ago, before we told our life, you ain't seen nothing yet. The best is yet to come. This is game on. Even as good, if you had a hard year, you're going to have a better one. If you had an amazing year, you're going to go to 11. All right. If you've seen Spinal Tap, we're going to go to 11. You're going to go to 100. You're going to ratchet it up. All right. You ain't seen nothing yet because you are just getting started at becoming the fullest expression of yourself with a contribution, with your legacy, with your joy, with your abundance, with your leadership, with your genius. You ain't seen nothing yet. Anyone feel this? All right. Anyone feel like this is true about you? Are you willing to let it be true and decide? You get to decide if it's an epic year. You declare and decree that it's an epic year. All right. So good job. All right. Now you declare it. Yes, you declare and decree. Those are powerful words. Sylvia Plath said, every word we say is a spell. All right. Every word we say is a spell. Every thought we think is a building block into our lives. That is true. It is real. Okay. So we're going to be good spellcasters to create the epic year. Now we're going to do a fun game called Start, Stop, Continue. Okay. So I'll go back to where we can see this just to put some visuals up because I know some of us like, visual learning anyway. All right. This is going to help us figure out what's coming into the year with us and what's not. All right. So let me get these back up where we can see them. All right. Okay. Stop, start, continue. Did that come up on the screen? If you can just give me a thumbs up if it did. Okay. I actually can't see enough of you to know, but I'm going to assume it did, or you can tell me in the chat if it didn't. All right. Now, stop, start, continue. We're going to play this game, except we're going to do it in a little bit different order. I always think this order is sort of weird. So what we're going to start with is stop. What are you not going to do or bring with you into 2026? This is where we put our agency at work. We say, I get to decide, and this is what I'm going to stop doing starting now. Yeah, it'll bring you back to corporate if you've done this, but we're going to have a lot more fun, hopefully, Chandani. All right. What are you not going to do in 2026? This could be habits, patterns, thought patterns, behaviors, commitments, relationships, activities, right? So inner and outer. Let's just take a couple minutes. And what are we going to stop? Another way of saying it is what is not coming, not getting an invite to 2026. Oh, Angela, I've done so much procrastinating cleaning. Thanks for naming that. Yeah, nice. These are good. What is not coming with you? Yeah, Nancy, worrying, over worrying. Good. And then just go ahead and put the word stop in the chat if you feel good. You feel like you've got some solid things. If you want more time, do not write anything in the chat. Okay, we've got some stuff. Okay, nice, nice. Okay, so remember, just kind of, all right. Now, as part of this, I want you to, I did a whole post on this. If you're in the Gamma group, you got a whole recording on this. You can go listen to it. Is there any bound energy? Okay, I did a whole like mini training on this. So I'm just going to ask it here as a prompt. Is there any bound energy in your life? It's a different way of thinking about stopping something. What's bound energy? Maybe there's resentment in a relationship. Maybe there is a conversation that you know you need to have and you've been avoiding it. Maybe there's a task that you just like, this is such a silly one, but we moved into a new house like 2.5 years ago and we didn't update our will and our trust. It's like that's not cool. That's not a good thing. So got on the phone with an attorney yesterday, a estate planning attorney, and we're getting that done, right? So it could just be a really like just little niggly thing, but is there any bound energy emotionally, energetically, relationally, or just on a task level? Just take a minute and make a note to yourself of what you are going to complete so that you don't have that on your mental load and in your energy field moving into the new year. Yes, I'm doing a huge purge over the holiday before January 1st. Just a couple areas of my house that are just getting totally overhauled and cleaned out. Yes, great. Okay, just tune in, ask your psych, ask your subconscious, ask your higher self, is there any bound energy that I get to unbind and liberate and complete so that I am free to live my most epic year? Nice, Jennifer. Yeah, I've been at it for 6 weeks. Yeah, Lynn, if you have financial debt, what a great thing to unbind. And if it's not about, completing, paying it off now, it could be developing a plan so that it is gone. I just did this with one of our clients. Like she's got a plan where it's gone by October. It's not going to be done today, but we now have such a good plan. She feels like it's in the rearview mirror, right? So what do you get to unbind? And then put UB in the chat when you feel clear. Yeah, the financial example is both, Jen. I'm weaving in some things to stop, continue, start because it's just like again, this is sort of a corporate exercise, but there's to me there's real value in doing it here, but I'm weaving in some more nuance, right? So the unbinding is like sometimes that's not about a big pattern that I'm stopping, but it's like I'm gonna take care of this thing or I'm gonna address this conversation or I'm gonna handle this task that's been, I've been saying I want to redo my website for 18 months. So last week it was like, it's time. You just got to do it. And so I rewrote the whole thing, sent it to our, designer that's going to have it ready in January. Okay. Yeah. So sometimes the unbinding is like a specific thing versus like a habit or a pattern. And they might be the same. Okay. One more thing on stop. I want everyone to go within inside yourself. You can put your hands on your heart or your head, your gut, whatever feels like the place where you're going to connect. And I want you to ask, is there anything else that just feels like it's going to be impossible to release? Okay. Like this might be a really big, hard thing you went through, or it might just be a pattern you just cannot kick, right? And so if there's something that's just so heavy on you that feels like it feels like it's broken or it's hard and it's just bigger than what you can do a list around, right? I want you to write it on a piece of paper, just write what it is, right? So let's all do that now. If there is some, it doesn't, there might not be, but if there's just something that feels really hard, you just don't know how to release it. Okay, so put that down on a piece of paper. Okay, and then I want you to take that piece of paper and you decide what you're going to do with it. Right now, I'm going to put on some music and we are going to, you can burn it if it's safe to do so where you are. If you have like a fireplace and you can burn it. You can shred it if you have a shredder, just put that sucker in there. You can, if it's biodegradable paper, you can rip it up and, flush it down the toilet. You can, crunch it up into a ball. Like you're just saying, right? We're going to change the energy around this thing. We're going to give this back to the universe for transformation, for transmutation, for resolution. Okay. So you decide what it is. You're going to do something with this. Okay. But we're going to change it from one form to another. In quantum physics, right? In regular physics, nothing, we can change the energy of something. So I want you to decide what you're going to do: burn, shred, flush, um, uh, uh, any, you pick, rip up, crunch, okay? But I want it to feel gone. And I am going to do tonight, I'm going to do a meditation for all of you and affirm whatever you wrote on that paper. I have a really beautiful fireplace. And so I'm going to burn for us because a fire is so powerful, so elemental, and I will burn energetically everything that you just wrote down, okay? So remember, we're burning to put into transmutation, to transformation. We're not judging anything, we're not making anything wrong, but sometimes things are bigger than we can deal with ourselves, right? So you're gonna, if it's your health situation, a financial situation, a relationship, you just whatever, a trauma that you experienced. Okay. So I'm gonna ceremoniously for all of us, this is gonna represent all of ours. I crunched it. Okay, now I'm gonna rip it. All right, I'm gonna rip it up. I don't want to pollute the environment, so I'm not gonna put it down flush it down the toilet. I'm gonna burn it for all of us after this workshop. Okay. So no, can you just visualize it with me? Just see my beautiful fireplace. If you're on Instagram, I'll go live. I'll do it. I'll try to go live and do it so you can tune in later tonight. Okay. And you're to see this and you're just envision me, just see my fireplace and just see yourself chucking it in and seeing even right now, let's envision the flames engulfing that thing and absolutely transforming, resolving, and solving it for you. Okay. Deep breaths. Okay. So I want you to imagine now you're going to put this thing in the rearview mirror. Okay. It's already solved. It's already solved. It's being transmuted. It's being worked on. It's in the God box, whatever way you like to think of it. Okay. It's released. And so just know that that's happened. Just give yourself a shake. Just let it go. You're not carrying that with you even till tomorrow, not even till later tonight. All right. You guys are awesome. Good job. Okay. And just give yourself a scan. Just give yourself a breath. Close your eyes. Do you feel any differently having released that thing that seemed bigger than you? Hell yeah, Gina. You can burn it up. You can put anything you want on that list, okay? Right? And actually, why don't we just say that at 7 p.m. Central Time, so that's going to be 8 o'clock Eastern, and that's 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain. I don't know by heart. Some of you I know are in South Africa and Europe and other things. We'll have to translate. Australia will have to translate the time zones. But at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight is when I'm going to do it. Okay. So just know that at that time, maybe you just even want to feel yourself just being freed. Okay. Ritual is important. Ritual is what reprograms the subconscious mind. All right. That's what so just know that you are going to feel that shift. That's so cool, Nancy, that you got kind of a shiver because you were already releasing from your psyche. All right, so I'm going to do that at 8 o'clock Eastern time tonight. If I can go live on Instagram and you're on Instagram, you can come watch. Otherwise, if it doesn't work, I'm just going to do it and know that we're going to energetically feel each other. Quantum entanglement. We're all in quantum relationship now, okay? So we're feeling it. All right, beautiful. All right, great job. So shake it out one more time. Awesome. Okay, because what we're going to be doing now is going to our continue list. Okay, stop, continue, start. I like saying it in that order because it feels weird to like go to continue. So, what are you doing that's already awesome that you're going to keep doing in 2026? Let's take a couple minutes there and tune into that. Continue. What are you going to continue because it's working and it's working well? What are you going to continue? It could be a big list, it could be one thing. Then write C for continue in the chat if you feel clear on what is working well and what you're going to continue. Awesome. Take a deep breath in. Great, right? Because a lot is working well. We know what we're not going to bring in or not going to keep doing. We know what's continuing. Now, what are we going to start? This is where, again, you might want to put your hands on your heart. You might want to tap into that higher self, super consciousness. Say, like, what are the thoughts and habits and actions that I'm going to start that are going to set me up to have this epic year? All right, let's take a few minutes there. So, just a little bit of extra thought on this as you dialogue about what you're going to start. Another brain-based question you can ask is, what would someone who wants to do what I want to do next year start doing? What would they do that's different than what I do now? So, like, you might say, oh, well, someone who wants to, I know we haven't done the full visioning on our next year, but it's like, oh, well, someone like me would, they would get up and have a morning routine. Someone like me who wants to do what I want to do next year would start going to bed an hour earlier. Someone who wants to do what I want to do next year would join such and such organization or start networking with these kind of people. They would develop a non-negotiable writing practice. They would, whatever it is. So just think about that for a few minutes. What would someone who wants to do what you want to do start doing that you're not doing now? And again, just you're not committing to it. Just like first you're just getting curious, right? Then you can decide if you're willing to do it. All right, let's try that. So put S if you feel clear on some things that you are going to start doing that are going to set you up for a quantum leap, for living the life you imagine for next year. Awesome. It is so awesome. Yeah, nice, Nancy. And so now, same thing, real quick, just a pulse to ask yourself, what do you, what is your insight from your stop, continue, start? If you look at, okay, what I'm stopping and not bringing in, what I'm continuing that is working, and what got revealed to me that I get to start doing, what is your insight? You can share it in the chat or keep it private, whatever you decide. Well-being is non-negotiable. Okay, good to know. Yeah, Nancy, great. Journaling every day, Chandani, beautiful. Yep. Releasing what's holding, not create. Yeah, nice, Julie. Creating your own community. Yeah, awesome. These are great. Okay, good, 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 good. All right, so now what we're going to do, you can still be thinking about your insights. Yeah, Nancy, yours might just be a do more, double down on what's working. That's a great insight to have. Start working less and being more active on social, Mo. I love that. Yep. Yes. Lisa was in Palm Desert at our Palm Desert event, was also on my peak experiences being with you all there that came. Yep, that's right. We're not listening to other people's opinions of ourselves, our noops, right? That's right. We're not letting other people's opinions determine what we are and how we are being. Awareness that it starts to fire together. Yes, I love it. I love, love, love. Great job, everybody. Okay. So, next, what we're going to do, all right, we've reviewed the year, we've looked at some, stop, continue, starts. And now what we're going to do is move into a visioning process. So to do this, we're gonna tap into alpha, theta, and gamma waves. Okay. So this is where we're going to start opening the channel. Once we've reviewed the year, once we've done some integrating, reflecting, we've released what's not coming with us. I'm going to take you through a visioning experience, but to get ourselves in the space to really open the channel, this is just the start of the visioning, right? We're going to be visioning more over the coming weeks. We're going to be together on the 7th of January. But to get us ready, what we're going to do is we're going to just have this is just to listen to. This is your genius zone, right? The miracle zone and the genius zone are alpha, theta, and gamma brain waves. That's what neuroscience has shown us so far. So I'm just going to be listening to this for about 3 minutes and close your eyes. I like to close my eyes and just think of this as a energy bath. You're just getting a whole energy clean out so that you're a blank slate, so that your channel opens, that you can tune in and hear clearly. Okay. And if you're someone who doesn't like to sit still and any kind of formal meditation, if you want to listen and walk around your space and do it as a gamma walk, that's absolutely great. Just honor yourself. I'm going to sit with eyes closed. That's my best method of doing it for this particular thing. I'm going to start playing. And if the music is spotty, just please do let me know in the chat and I'll fix it. Focus on your breath, listen to the sounds, and totally empty out. See light energy moving through you and just giving you a beautiful energy bath, energy rain shower. And I want you now to think of something you love. It could be a pet, a friend, a person, a food, a place, something you love. And just feel yourself generating that energy of appreciation and love and gratitude. Okay, this is going to put you in state to be able to vision powerfully. Something or someone you love, just feel that love beaming out to that person, place, or thing. Deep breath in and out. Ha. Give yourself a ha. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So now we're going to open up and I'm going to take you through the visioning questions, right? These are inspired by Michael Beckwith from the Agape Center from the movie The Secret, who kindly taught them to me, but I also blend in my own. So some of these are Michael Beckwith's and some of these are mine. And we're going to do this visioning process. There's no way to do this wrong. There's no way to mess it up. And before we do it, I want to just give you a little context. So these visioning questions are meant to open the door to your highest and best vision for 2026. So this works best for me to let go of, even if you've already set goals and very clear plans. For now, imagine more that we're in an energy of receiving, like you're taking notes for a friend. Okay, so I'm going to ask these visioning questions, and you're just going to write down whatever comes to you. If nothing comes, it's going to come later. Okay, I've been doing visioning for 20 years. And it will come, your vision will come clearly over the next hours and days and weeks if it doesn't right now. So don't feel any pressure for anything to be revealed in this moment. By doing this practice, you have assured that your vision will become clear. Okay, so I'm going to just do an intention here. I'm going to do an invocation to just affirm that we are going to do this visioning process, and that either right now or as a result of doing this process together, that you will download your vision for 2026, everything you need to know for it. You will draw to yourself everything you need for its fulfillment, and that you are going to create miracles this year. Okay, your success is assured. Right? So I just affirm that these visions are clear, aligned, they become a frequency match to them, and they are manifested. All right, so just relax. Just remember, all you're doing is listening and writing down anything that comes to you now, because it might come later, might come next week, but it will come. All right, so the first visioning question is simply, what is the highest vision for my life in 2026? What is the highest vision of my life for 2026? And then we're going to be quiet for a minute and write down anything that comes to us. What is the highest vision and idea for my life in 2026? And if you want to zoom in, if you're curious about your professional life or a creative project or a relationship, you could say, what is the highest vision and idea for my work in 2026? My finances in 2026, my relationships in 2026. And you can zoom in any area you want around your life. What is the highest vision and idea for my life in 2026? Keep going. You're doing great. Okay, and now take a breath. Remember, you're just listening and receiving, allowing clarity to come to you. And now just see, what is the highest vision for a word for this year? My word of the year. If you don't like doing a word of the year, just ignore this one and keep enjoying having your future self guide you to show you coming attractions. All right. But if you like to do a word of the year and you want to download one, you can ask now, what is the highest vision for my word of 2026? To see if there's anything there. Yes, it could be a word or a phrase, of course. Yep. Okay, and now deep breath in. And our next visioning question is, what must I release in order to have my most epic year? What must I release? So we've already done some of this work, but just see if anything else comes through. Is there anything else I need to release to have my most fulfilling, most exciting, most amazing, most successful 2026? Again, it could be a habit, a thought, a belief, an obligation. What must I release? Just see if there's anything there for you. And what must I embrace, embody, and become? What must I embrace, embody, and become to allow the most glorious epic year? Again, this could be a mindset, a quality like courage, could be an action step. What must I embrace, embody, and become to have my most epic year? Take a deep breath in. And then we just ask, is there anything else I need to know now? Okay, this is like your little love note from the universe, from consciousness. Anything else I need to know now? Just tune in and see if there's kind of a PS message for you. Put PS in the chat if you feel complete, like you've had time to tune into that. If you got an answer, you know that you've opened the door to that answer. Beautiful. Take a deep breath. You're doing amazing. Give yourself a stretch. Give yourself some love. Give each other some high fives, some heart hands, some love there. Okay, so what were we doing there? We were opening our channel. We were opening a channel to a word of the year, if you like doing words of the year. We were opening the channel to our initial what does life look like? Who feel like you got something during that visioning, like at least one idea, one sneak preview from your 2026 self. You got, okay, awesome. All right, beautiful. Good job. That is amazing. You've stuck with this. So this is a lot, right? This is big energy work. It's going to be like after a massage, I'm going to recommend you all go drink a liter of water at least. We're going to hydrate. Yeah. I love we have word of the if you have a word of the year and you want to share it, feel free to share it or a phrase. That's kind of fun. I used to never do them. And then last year one came through and it was really, really profound this year to see how it showed up in so many ways and called me forth. And so I asked for one for this year and I got one this year too. So I'm excited about that. All right. So we have fun and expansion and serenity and ripples. And if you didn't get one, something fun to do, which is what I did, is I wanted to download a word. I didn't want to choose a word like from my intellect. And so I just set the intention, said I'd really like to download a word. And for about 5 days, I didn't get anything, just nothing, nothing, nothing. And I said, that's cool. If there's not a word, there's not a word. I didn't feel attached. And then I told you all on last Friday, those of you in the Gamma group, all of a sudden, it just came downloaded to me like it went through my body and it's okay, there we go. Right. And I knew it was definitely not a word I would have chosen. The word was power, and I would never have wanted that to be my word because that sounds scary. I don't know what that means in terms of my, personal power. And it's certainly not, power over others. Right. But it was really, really powerful to receive a word. So if you want to receive one like that, you could do that same exercise. Okay. Awesome. Beautiful. Look at all these beautiful words: transformation and community and visibility. I love it. Okay, so what we're going to talk about now is what happens next. We have reviewed the year, and you can go through and do it if you sometimes doing these things in a group on Zoom, you just need more quiet, more space. So you're going to get the replay and the slides with the prompts. You can spend more time on this, of course, right? And then we reviewed, we released, and then we started to activate by looking at stop, continue, start. And then we opened the channel for revelation, for clarity, for the downloads of what this year is going to be for you. Okay, so we went through that process. You can go through this process as many times as you want to. That serves and supports you to get clear. You can do whatever amount that you want. All right. Now, here's what I'm not going to call this homework because that sounds boring and it's winter break almost, but we're going to call this action steps. All right. So here's what I recommend. This is what I'm going to be doing over the next a couple of weeks before we meet again for this part two of Epic Year on January 7th. And you might want to do one of these things or multiple of these things. Okay. But I'm going to recommend you pick at least one of the few things I'm going to suggest because for me, it's about getting things started today. That's why it's a part one. And then continuing this revelation process, this clarity process, this visioning process, so that we can do the neurological rewiring on January 7th so that you are locked into your year. At that point, you know your vision, you're going to activate it and you're going to start manifesting it. Okay? So, yay, Lynn, I'm glad you got some good stuff today. That brings me a lot of joy. I love doing this with all of you. Okay? So, here's what I'm going to be doing and here's what I invite you to do one or some of these things. The first is to use the visioning questions that we just did a few times if you don't feel like you've got your whole vision completely clear. I certainly do not. So I will be doing those visioning questions again, and I find them really helpful to do. Okay, so you can use them again. You'll have them written down in the slides, and you'll have them in the recording of this. All right. Then the next thing that I always do in December around this time is I go on a vision quest. So I trained with shamans for many years in the UK, and vision questing is now what we call gamma walking in our community, but it was the precursor to that. Vision questing is done in many indigenous cultures. I come from a line of, like Celtic and French shaman, if that's my ancestry. But I've trained with shamans who are, from Africa, Native American communities here in the Americas. And so vision questing, there's lots of different ways to do it. For us modern people, especially if you live in a city like I do, vision questing is where we take a section of time. So you can take 15 minutes, an hour. You could take a whole day if you're really ambitious. I will not be outside for a day. I can promise you that right now because it's so cold where I am. But you can also look out a window. And the idea is you're going to set an intention for your vision quest. It could be, please show me, universe, life, show me clarity on my vision for 2026. Or it could be, I'm in a vision quest for something specific that's on my vision. Maybe it's, I really want a vision on my finances. I want a vision on my work life. I want a vision on my creativity. I want a vision quest on my health or well-being. Okay, you can do whatever you want, but the idea is you set an intention for something that you want downloaded to you, right? That you want clarity on, that you want alignment with. Maybe you're completely clear and you want a vision quest to get to be a frequency match to your vision. You know exactly what you want to do. So you're going to vision quest to become a match to it, right? Because we can't receive something that we don't become first. And a lot of times there's a gap between what I want and what I want my life to be and who I'm being. That's not a judgment of myself. It's not a failing of myself. It's just I'd already be there, right? So if you're going for a new income goal, you're going for a creative project, you're going for a greater contribution or visibility, then who do you get to become that's a match to that vision, right? So you might vision quest to get more clarity on that piece. You know what the goal is. You want to be like, who do I get to be to match that on a frequency level, right? Yes. Yeah. If you're in a frequency, how many of you feel like there's a frequency gap between where you are now and the epic life that you have for 2026? Heck yeah, there is for me. Sure. Right. Because otherwise we'd already be there and we'd be setting a different goal. And so this is how we bridge the frequency gap. You can vision quest. Okay. Then after you've set your intention, you say, I want to be a frequency match. I want to go from frequency gap to frequency match. And I'm going to go on this vision quest. And then the idea is we just try to stay as present as possible. The point of the vision quest or the gamma walk is not to figure it out. It's not to use our intellect, because that's not where the revelation is going to come. That's not where the frequency attunement is going to come, most likely. Okay. It's going to come from us completely emptying out. And then you just pay attention to what you see, what you hear, what you notice, what arises within you intuitively. And I do like to have, I don't listen to anything, I don't look at my phone, I don't have any podcasts or music or anything playing, but I like to bring my phone on my Vision Quest because I don't want to have to remember. You could bring a little notebook as well if you want to handwrite. And then if you notice something, you notice a certain animal crosses your path, you notice a sound, a car is driving by with a certain song that's playing that catches your attention, you see a sign that stands out, you can snap a picture of it or you can make a note of it, right? Because after we're not analyzing anything on the Vision Quest or the Gamma Walk, when we come back from it, then yep, you can use AI, like you can dictate into ChatGPT or Otter. And I don't pre-plan my route, Jennifer. If I'm going somewhere in nature, like a forest preserve, then I just like go to the place and then I'll walk around there. But I live in the city, so I just start wandering around my neighborhood like a nut job that I always have people, and I don't care, right? You can lean against a tree, ask the tree for messages, like however swoo or woo you are, you can decide. All right, but this is brain science based, and you're going to walk around. You're just going to take notes about what comes to you. Sometimes I vision quest. I don't feel like I get jack. You know what? I'm like, well, I feel better because I spent some time walking in nature or around my neighborhood, but I don't feel like I got any downloads. That's okay. They will come, right? But I love doing, and if it's really cold where you are, your body, some of you are recovering from surgeries and things, you can do a vision quest by plant yourself near a window, or even research shows, put your on your YouTube channel like nature shots. You can even look at digital images of nature, and they've actually done brain scans, and it will help you start downloading. Okay, so you can look at nature on a screen, you can look out a window, you can physically walk in nature. I'm going to try to do as much of the outdoor as I can, but when it gets too freezing, I'm going to come inside, put nature shots on my phone on the treadmill, right? You can do whatever you want. All right. So, yes, exactly. All right. So, Vision Quest, right? We're going to keep visioning with the questions you learned today. We are going to Vision Quest, or also known as Gamma Walk, right? And then, if you're not in the Gamma group, I would love you to join us there. We can put the link in the chat because I'm going to be coming on with some support in our private podcast. We have a private podcast in the Gamma group where you'll get a recording from me throughout this time periodically. I'm going to come in there and you can join us if you're not already part of that group. And over these next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to be coming in with some inspiration, with some prompts, with some just extra support for you to do these practices. Um, yeah, so you can join the Gamma group there, Sharon, if you're interested, and it'll give you the details of what we do there. I'll stay on after we're done. I want to give you one more really cool thing that we're gonna put on this list, and then if anyone has questions about Gamma group, just hang out here or email us, and I'm happy to share with you. You can read about it there. But I'm going to be coming in during this time. The final thing, this is something we've never done before, and this is a thank you to Sarah V, who was talking to me about this morning. Okay, this is a really cool practice that is going to happen between Sunday, December 21st, which is the solstice, and January 1st, New Year's Day. So if you're in the Gamma group, I'm gonna do a little episode for you on this, but here's what it is for everybody. So you're going to, as you vision and get clear on what you want next year, you're going to write down 12 desires that you have for 2026. Okay, personal, professional, big, small, 12 desires. And then you're going to take those desires and you have to write this, or print it out on a piece of paper, and you're going to cut them up so that each desire is on its own little piece of paper. Okay, you're going to fold it so you can't see what's written on it anymore. Then you're going to put those 12 desires in some kind of a vessel. So it could be a cup, a mug, a container, a box, envelope, whatever you want, right? Put them in. And this is the part that feels very uncomfortable to me, but I've never done this, so I'm going to do it. Each day between the solstice, December 21st, and January 1st, you're going to take one out. You're not going to look at it. The deal with this game, you cannot look at you're going to have folded it, so you can't see which of your 12 it is. and you're going to burn it. Okay. Now you're not letting it go and saying you don't want it, but you're going to release it. This is an act of surrender. If you can't burn, you can shred or flush or, just some way of you release that into the universe. You release it into consciousness where the universe is going to start working on all those desires. And on the New Year's Day, you're going to take your one that's not been released yet and you're going to look at it. So the first 11 we don't look at. Don't get to see what they are. You don't get to see what order. You don't get to see. And on January 1st, you're going to open it and look at that one. And that is going to be what we call in the coaching world your golden domino. Okay. What the golden domino means it's the thing that when you focus on that one is going to let all the other ones happen for you. Okay. The universe is going to work on all 12. Okay. You've set the intention for all 12. You're going for all 12. You get to have all 12. But the one there, and it may not be the one we expect. This is going to make New Year's Day so fun because I'm going to be so fascinated to see what one, isn't it nuts? It's crazy, right? Who's doing it? Anyone going to do this one with me? Okay. Yeah. Because it's going to be so fascinating to see which of the 12 is the golden domino. All right. Which is the one that is the thing. So let's just say you have, one for your health. Let's say I wrote down like strength training and then, my new book launch and I have, all the different desires I have. Right. And then we're gonna see which one. It doesn't mean we're not getting all of them, right? It means we're gonna take action on all of them, but it means that that one is where life is wanting to particularly prompt us to prioritize because sometimes the one we don't think, and if you watch my video on unbinding, you know the story of the gentleman where I learned the unbind energy from, who was there like, I got to raise sales in my business. I got to focus on finances. I need to increase my business. And his coach said, where is the energy bound? And just intuitively, he said, my marriage. He said, you're going to focus on your marriage. And when that guy focused on his marriage, didn't do anything new for his business, he doubled his sales because everything's related, right? We know this. It's interconnectivity. We know that there's only one thing ever happening, right? And so this is so cool that we're going to see which is the thing that man focusing on showing up in integrity and love in his marriage unbound the financial energy that was going on in his business without him doing any more work, not hiring a single other person, not spending an extra dime on marketing. So we don't know what the thing is. I'm like tingling because I do not like surprises. All right, anyone else? I don't do it. I don't like it. If someone's like, "Do you want to wait till your baby is born?" Hell no. I want to know who's here like week 6. Is it too early? Week 6? I was reading the ultrasound. All right? Like I don't want a surprise party. It's all because of my trauma. I understand that, but I don't like it. However, this is really exciting, and I'm going to do this because this is proof that we're not controlling, right? Do we all feel the difference? Like we're not saying which one the priority is. How do we know? How do we know that the health goal isn't going to lead to the creative goal or vice versa? Right? How do we know our writing goal isn't going to bring us, way more money, even if we think my book's not even going to be, out? How would that help? Yes, we're trusting, we're surrendering. And exactly, and it gives us a way to prioritize. Okay. So I'm really excited of all. It sounds like a lot of us are going to do this. All right. So please join the Gamma group if you're not in it already, because then I can give you more support with these practices, visioning, vision questing, which is Gamma walking. That's the same thing now. We just call it a new name, right? And doing this powerful vision boarding. The final thing is to make a visual representation of those 12 wishes or your vision for the year. It doesn't have to be 12, right? Okay, make a visual representation. So if you like to do vision boards, I love vision boards. They work for me. I make one every single year. I have it in my office. I love it. You could do a digital vision board on Pinterest or Canva. There's even templates on Canva for vision boards if you want to. You can do a slideshow, like in Google Slides, kind of Ken Burns style, and you can put images of the things you are feeling called to for this year, and you can let those images fade in and out. So we want to come to January 7th having done, if you're doing this 12 desires exercise, having gone on your vision quest for more clarity, and then having done some kind of a visual representation of one or more of your top visions for the year. Why? Because this is how we wire our brain. The subconscious mind responds to imagery and repetition. That's how we program the brain. And so the imagery, that's why we use visual images. And then the repetition is that you put it somewhere where you're seeing it, right? It could be the screensaver on your phone. I put my big because I have a giant, enormous one in my office. So those are, yes, Gamma Group meets next on Monday, January 5th. So if you're in the Gamma Group, you'll meet on the 5th, and then we'll be together on the 7th. And you'll have the secret podcast in between so that I'll be helping you just remember what we did today. We will also post this recording in there in the podcast. Okay, this was awesome, you guys. All right, so stay on if you have Gamma Group questions. It's just $47 a month or $497 for the entire year. And I absolutely am committed that you will get way more value than $47 a month out of that group. Okay, we are going to do awesome stuff like this all year long. And we'd love to have you join us. So put in the chat your biggest takeaway from today before you hop off. And then again, if you have questions on Gamma Group, I will hang here and answer them. But let's celebrate the work you just did. Biggest takeaway from today. Jennifer, I Gamma walk every day and I do one big vision quest, usually in December. A long one. Awesome. The golden domino, aliveness, allowing the vision, looking, Gina, for that congestion in your life and releasing it. Beautiful. Yes, Heidi, you're going discipline, depth, and focusing on your husband. I love beautiful. The 12 desires. SWOO, that we have SWOO people. We have a SWOO community. Yes, transmuting the old, opening up to the new intentions, recognizing the challenges you faced. Yeah, great job. Yeah, I'm gonna go Gamma Walk right now. So Gina, I'm doing it with you. 100%. Absolutely. Yes, allowing and trusting. Yes, Julie, thank you for being here. Yes, finding your golden domino, leaning into your desires. Yes, it's a reverse New Year's yeah, resolutions. Everyone quits resolutions by January 23rd. That's the statistic. 80 no, it's 92% of the world by January 23rd is it just gives up on them completely and just goes back and Groundhog Days their year. Okay. So we're not doing it. That's why we did this work today. Okay, great. I honor you all. Let's honor each other. I honor you so big. That was awesome. And if you feel like, oh, I didn't really get anything, there was too much going on, that's why you're going to have the recording and the slides. We'll have everything out to you as soon as this processes. And oh no, yeah, Jennifer, you'll be manifesting big things in your vision in the Gamma Group. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. And if you're having any problems, Jennifer, I'm going to say, just if you have any problems doing your payments, just do care at sarahcannell.com. Just send an email over to the team there and we'll figure out how we can help you for sure. Okay. So, Michelle, if you could share the link again for Gamma Group for anyone that's not already in with us there so that you can get a whole year of this kind of work. Yeah, Gina, I'm so grateful for you. Let's have fun on our walks, on our vision quests. Beautiful. And then just put your hand up if anybody has a question for me about Gamma. So I will answer for you now. You could just give me a wave or write it in the chat. Mwah. All right, I'm so excited for everybody. We're going to be together. If you're in the Gamma Group, you'll be hearing from me shortly, and we'll get you all the replay and the resources too. Yeah, Terry, if you go to the are you able to access the link here? It's the sarahcannell.com dash gamma dash
I
group.
signed up.
Oh yeah.
I signed up. I just wondered if I was like, couldn't find the information for today. I'm like scrolling through everything. So I was just curious.
Oh,
And by the way, I loved your secret podcast for December 16th, all that unbound energy. I loved it. Yeah, thank you.
yes, I'm
Yeah,
so glad. I love that one has been super
it was
powerful.
very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Terry, the app is we
Yeah,
have
the
just
app.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
the app, we'll be able to talk to each other in the
Okay.
community. We're just, they sent us the beta test and there were a couple glitches, which no surprise. So Amy and I are going to be playing with it the rest of this week, and then we'll get that to you guys really shortly. I just want to get back in there and see if they fixed what we found was glitching. Yep.
So, okay, just I guess the reason I'm asking is I have my brand new calendar out. So Mondays, it's once a month on Mondays. Is there a certain time?
Yeah, 2 to 3 Eastern, the first Monday of the month, unless I have a special. Once in a while, I've got like a speaking event or something going on. We'll give you guys lots of notice if not. And you'll
Okay.
get an import calendar link
Okay.
shortly that puts them all on your calendar for 2026. And then we'll have bonus sessions. We're going to have guest experts and practice labs, and we'll be getting you those dates. We just had to ask everyone to fill out if they want that, and we got a yes
Okay.
from the group. So we'll be doing that. Yeah, Sharon, the podcast is once you're in the Gamma group, you'll get the instructions with the secret code. And then it'll go right into Apple or Spotify or wherever you like to listen to podcasts. But it's private. You can't, it's open just for our group because we want to keep it, confidential to you all. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Terry. Yes, Terry Ann. All right. Anybody else have a question? We're good. Okay, amazing work today. I'm excited for everyone. I'm excited to see. I might need to go live on January 1st to see what we all pull as our as the one that the universe said. I'm really thrilled to try to do something. Oh, I'd love to be on your podcast, Terry Ann. Absolutely. Yeah, just let me give you if you don't have it, I'll give you my direct email in here, and then just shoot me an email if you have a schedule link or anything. I'd be so honored. Thank you. Yeah, we could talk about unbinding or any of this gamma stuff. All right. Everyone, great job today. Mwah, happy vision questing. I'm going to go out right now and do one, and I will see you all very